Welcome to Underdog Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with the heroic heart, and I have conversations with successful underdogs. And today is no different than any other day. Today I have successful underdog Samuel Wright Jr. Our guest is someone who has made his life a mission to help others tap into their full potential and conquer any obstacles in their way. He's the underdog whispers of sorts. Coach Wright is a highly skilled and battle-tested life coach with over 25 years of experience uplifting underdogs from all walks of life. Through collaboration, personal approach, Coach Wright has guided countless individuals to overcoming their limit beliefs and breaking through new levels of personal growth and fulfillment. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Where you get that introduction from, man? I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I've been working on my intros because I watch Shannon Sharp, and you know how he do the good intro. So I've been working on it.
That was fire, man. I appreciate that, man.
No problem. Need a fun fact.
A fun fact.
Yep.
Man, that's the first time somebody ever asked me that. A fun fact is, I love watching battle rap.
Okay.
Old school, man.
Hey, me too. Okay, so who is your top three?
My top three of who I like, or just who I think is the best to ever.
Yeah, who's your top three that you like? Because everybody
like.
Yeah.
The algorithm, Easy to Block Captain.
Okay.
Who else is out there that I, when they battle come on, I really got to see it. I actually like Rosenberg Raw.
Okay.
Wow. And Big K.
Okay, we cool.
And that's just going off of, I just like their style and their grit. Do I think they're the best ever? No, but right now, those are three people that when they battles come on, I want to see their battle.
Yeah, I would say for me, Big K is definitely up there. I think he up there higher than a lot of people would put him. Facts. Because he's killed a lot of last year. Yeah. He was killing. I always like Hollow the Don. He don't really rap as much no more. I'm gonna say Hitman too. I like Charlie. Charlie be playing, but I like Charlie.
He plays too much.
Yeah.
I think his style is so repetitive that people just give him high accolades. But every now and again, for me, he'll have a showing up like, okay, that's the Charlie I want to see. But
okay.
I would never. I'm never looking forward to a Charlie battle.
Okay. Let's see. Fun fact. I used to battle rap.
Stop it. For real?
Okay. Yep. It really started like middle school. I started writing my first rap with my best friend at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I just used it. I just thought it was like roasting people. Yeah. Like I just used it like that. And I remember I lost one battle to a kid. I think he was like 8th grade. I think I might have been a senior. I was hot. And after that, I never really lost again. I'm trying to think. I've had a couple ties, but I don't really, cause I surprise people, right? Cause they don't be thinking I got bars, and then like I don't know, it's easy. Yeah, it's easy, especially if I try not to go off a competition. Like if you trash, I ain't really gonna bring nothing. If you good, I'm like, okay, let me go on my bag on this person. But yeah, I definitely, that's one thing I love: battle rap, Meek Mills, Nappy Braids, Reed Dollars.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad. I was rapping in elementary school, right? So this, I'm 48, so we talk about 40 years ago.
Yeah.
40 or less. So I remember freestyling one day. One of my buddies like, man, how'd you do that? I'm like, man, I just think about what come to me. And I got to middle school. We ride on the bus one day, and a dude by the name Danae Kelly and a good friend of mine, we used to call each other cousins, Delano Hubbard. These dudes can rap, and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. And I was still write a little bit. I remember getting to high school one day, getting a cipher and rapping, and I couldn't remember my raps, and then a dude named Manboy rap and killed it. I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. So I've always been a fan. I used to buy the Smack DVDs and then the other bootleg DVDs that had battle raps, but always been a battle rap fan.
Yeah. That's I don't catch a whole lot of people that like it, but I definitely, you'll catch me at home looking up some battles in my spare time. Like, man, let me see who, I don't know a lot of these new rappers though. I'm really I really keep up with like the people I know, like Chest. I like him. He a newer dude. Tay Rock. He been out for a minute. I think he be gassed. I don't really.
Gas. He's consistent. He throws me off with the tough guy angle. Yeah. He tries to come with. So that's a turn off. But as far as just putting him in front of any and everybody, he holds his own. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. I've been
just have too many up and down issues, but he's had some.
Yeah, but you gotta think he's only like 22 now.
Yeah, but you've been in the game since 17.
Yeah.
Why do you keep having the issue that you have?
That's true.
Personal development.
Yeah. Because when you really think about battle rap and the way they perform, they gotta like do work.
Yes.
Like work to remember.
Indeed.
To remember three rounds or maybe 3 minutes, maybe more. Mm-hmm. Then you gotta think about crowd reaction, like all this different stuff. Like it's really an art to do that. Like it ain't easy like to go up there and just battle rap.
But think about it, it's just like anything else. The work that you put into it, it should be a reflection of your performance.
Yeah.
And so like I say, if you're getting paid thousands of dollars to do this, then lock in. If you can do it.
Yeah.
But the league's gotta have some kind of stipulation where if you don't complete it, then you're not getting something. So that's another thing too. If I know I can have asset and still get paid, then I might still have asset.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So it's May right now, but it's gonna be June when this episode comes out. So Father's Day is June. Father's is for fathers. June is for fathers, and you're a father. So take me back to when you found out you was having your first child, and what was going on. What was life looking like for you then? So
the interesting thing about that, or fun fact, however you want to call it, my first child is not biologically mine.
Okay.
My first child, Nike, she was 24, getting married. Later on this year, about to graduate with her master's, her and her fiance. She's my first child, but not biologically mine, but I was there before she was even crawling. So, of course, I wasn't surprised because I didn't know she's not biologically mine, but I knew when the moment, people can dispute this all they want, I know what God told me. I knew from the moment I laid eyes on her, God had made her for me, and that's just straight out facts. So as I began the process of raising her, picking her from daycares, taking her out to hang with me and stuff, it changed my life to the point where, okay, now I have to start being responsible for somebody other than myself.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was just nephews and cousins I was responsible for, little brothers, But I knew that life was real now. You have someone who's really looking to you for dependence, and thank God that her mother worked 2 jobs, was really serious and committed to motherhood, or else I might have slacked off.
Yeah.
I knew it was real.
Yeah. That's kind of the same thing with me. My first child isn't biologically mine, but it's funny because I knew her mom before she was born, but I knew like her mom, we knew each other in college. She got pregnant with her, left, and then we started talking years later, and then I think she was like first grade. So it's funny because when she first met me, she was like, is he homeless? Because I had this crazy long beard and looking, it was like, how old was I? I was 26, I think, maybe somewhere in maybe 25 to 26, somewhere in there. But I finally could grow like a full beard, so I just was letting it out. And my mom had gave me the little shea butter, so the little shea butter had it growing, and then that's the first thing she said. But we kicked it off like she was mine already. I would say I was harder on her than I am on my son, because I felt like as a girl, the world, like your people around you don't give you the reality of what the world's going to be. So I don't want you to go out there and be like, oh, it's all sweet, and you get hit on your head and you don't know what to do. So I always kept it a buck with her, and we still have that relationship now. And she's about to be 19. She's a sophomore. Oh, she's going to sophomore year in college. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, I think first of all, man, I want to commend you for that, because I don't think people understand what it's like to raise a child who you're not technically responsible for.
Yeah.
Because people out here don't raise their own kids they're responsible for. So I as being in that same position, I want to commend you, man, because people really don't have no clue what you go through raising a child that you technically not responsible for.
Yeah,
but
same to you.
I know God told me this is your child.
Yeah, it's just crazy how that, like, I knew her before her, and we were just cool. We always had that going back and forth. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know, like doing homework. I hated doing homework with her. Like, cause you know, kids, they know it all, but if you know it all, then why you don't know the answer? And they, like, we be dang near about to fight doing homework. And I'm like, but we had little secrets. But you know, one thing that I never did, that I never really saw, was going to father-daughter dances. That was different for me, having to dress up and go and dance and, you know, do all that type of stuff. But it made me appreciate it because you actually got to show this person what a date looks like, what, you know, what a guy's supposed to do and stuff of that sort. But it got, at first it was like, oh my goodness. But then it was like, hey, I remember, I think I asked her when she was a teenager and she, couldn't do it, or she was busy or something. So we couldn't go. But that's something that I would want to do as she gets older, you know, go to those type of things. Cause we used to go on daddy-daughter dates, and that was fun stuff.
Yeah, and still, you might create your own.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
create your own.
yeah, definitely.
You're an influencer in this community now, and you can put together your own stuff.
Yeah, I go for more so the mother-son, because you don't really see that. The father-daughter, you see that all the time, everywhere. I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but I kind of see a lot of people do the mother-son dance a lot more. I'm gonna say I was one of the first people to do that. And have a big one, because I never saw it. We had a mentor program. I looked it up and I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see nobody. I seen one or two here and there, but ever since I done it, I done seen them a lot more and more. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So to go back on that question, so let's fast forward 4 years after Cage was born, was my son Josiah, who you know.
Yep.
And I tell people that's one of the proudest moments of my life, was bringing my firstborn son into the world.
Yeah.
You know, because I just know how I was with my father. You know, my father was one of my heroes. You know, and it's something special about a father having a son, because that's who's gonna carry your name, your legacy. You know, that's who looks like you.
Yeah.
And that's gonna have more of your mannerisms. So yeah, again, to have my firstborn son, but it was special.
Yeah. It definitely changed like who I was, what I was doing. Like, life stopped. Like, this little person depends on me. And like you said, they carry your name, and you want to make sure that you're doing the stuff that's right in life, even though, you know, you're going to make mistakes as a human, but you're trying to better yourself so you can be a good example to them. Because before that, I was just going through life, just hanging out, not caring about nothing. And then he came, it was like life changed. Yes, mindset changed. Yes, everything, like, okay, because you watching them come out the womb and you like, oh, different. Yeah, like, oh. Yeah, it hit different than real. Somebody already being here and you taking care of them. It's like, oh yeah, this, and then they look like you and act like you, and it's like, oh, I see what my mama said. I was talking about, cause yeah. So
we sat at the table last night and at Antonio Patton's 50th birthday party, and Parenthood was at the table. He's like, that's your son? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, y'all look just alike. Yeah. And so it's funny to hear people say, because that's what I grew up with my father.
Yeah. So you're a junior. I'm a junior. Question.
Talk to me.
Why is no was it because I know mine, and I'm gonna say why and what. There's no reason.
Good question. Yeah. You asked some great questions. At that time, I just wanted to give them their own identity. You know, and I love my father, love my mother. Nothing against the way they raised me or nothing. Like today, I believe they did the best job they could, and they still are active parents and grandparents in our lives. So shout out to my parents, love them to death. I just wanted to break the mold. I wanted my kids to have their own identity. And it's a running joke that I said, had my father been there when Josiah was born, I would have named him after him, but he wasn't there. He was traveling at the time, which he did the same thing when I was born. My father's always been a traveler, working and stuff like that. But then when Levi came, my second son, it was no way I was about to name him after me, and I didn't name the first one. So like I said, we wanted Josiah to have his own identity. So the doctor who delivered him, I believe it's like an Arab or Indian doctor. His name was Sanjay. And so we kind of took his name and flipped it, because we were still kind of deciding what his name was going to be. So we came up with Josiah.
Oh, okay. That's a different approach.
Yeah, very different.
Different approach. Because I was like, hey, I want that legacy to keep going. And she didn't want to name him after me. And it's like, I was kind of, you know, I didn't want to fight it. But then it's like, dang, man, I want that. Because I didn't know, because my biological dad died when I was 4. So I didn't really know him to know who he was. So it was like, I wanted that. And I think with my son being albino and coming out looking different, having his own identity fit him. So, but he looked just like me and he act just like me. So she couldn't get away from it if she wanted to. So he ain't got to be named after me because he just it's crazy how much he's like me. So, growing up, you got 2 kids, 4 years apart. Mine are 9 years apart. So I had a little gap in there. So how's life different? You got a young girl. She's 4, about to go into school, talking. I know she talking crazy, or she's still talking crazy, but she either girly girl or she tomboy, somewhere in there, about to go to school. Now you got a son. What's life like now that you have someone that's actually biologically yours? Because it hits different when you have that. And now, how is life being a father?
It was great. One thing we could say, and this is where, co-parenting partnership comes in, because me and their mother, we got married in 2007. So that means Jason was 3 or 4 and Nike was 7, because she was born in 2000. Our kids were so well behaved, man. And you can attest to it, because like I said, you spent time around Jason, and it was intentional that we raised them that way. My daughter, her biological grandmother was heavy into the church, and she used to watch her a lot before we moved here to Indianapolis. So she had that spirituality embedded in her at an early age. And then as we became older and got more wisdom, we, went into church and kind of, geared them in that direction. So our children are very spiritual. So I didn't have a lot of pushback that some parents face. Were they kids? Yes. But because of the upbringing of my daughter in the church, and like I said, she was just so spiritual. Like my nickname for her is the spirit of the family. The sign is the strength, and then Levi is our joy. Our kids were so well behaved, man. Couldn't ask for 3 better kids. Again, they were still kids, but we didn't have issues with them. If any issues we had, it was just about going through life, trying to figure life out. But as far as being parents, no issues, man. I couldn't ask for a better parenthood, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah. Like I said, our kids were just so well behaved, and we were very intentional about how we raised them, who we had them around, and the things that we allowed them to be in. Yep.
Same way. Like, looking at my daughter, she done some, teenager stuff, that stuff that teenagers do. But other than that, it wasn't like we getting phone calls. We got to go up to the school. None of that. Like, she got good grades. My son, I still don't know how we haven't got phone calls. Like, he's well behaved at school. He knows how to behave. And I think it's more so of, I've always told them, when you go outside this house, whether I'm in the house or I'm not in the house, or whoever, you're representing your parents, and you can't go out here and act the fool. Because I told them, like, wherever you act the fool, I'm going to come and act the fool too.
And it's about, people don't understand a lot of it, the way our child acts in public, most times, often than not, is a reflection of how they were raised. So if you don't establish ground rules, structure, a foundation, love, caring for your child, allowing them to express themselves at home, you're going to have a child who gets out in public and does all the wrong things, who makes all the bad decisions. So your son, the way he conducts himself, is a reflection of the structure that you put him under them. It's a reflection of the foundation. It's a reflection of the manhood that you have instilled in him. So when he gets out in public, of course, every now and again, our sons are going to bump their head, but we bumped our head. And because of the way I grew up, just making stupid mistake after stupid mistake, and the lifestyle that their mother was raised in, we just didn't want that for our children. So we were very intentional about the structure and the foundation we laid for them.
And I think with their mom, she was, I wouldn't say a goody two shoe. She didn't get in trouble. She wasn't out, she was in school, working, doing all that stuff. So they see that from her. I'm the wild child. They see all that. But I always been transparent with them and told them, like, why would you do that? I done already done that. You can't fool me, stuff of that sort. And just being honest. And what you said was allowing them to express themselves. I think when I was growing up, you couldn't really express yourself. Like, if you talk, like, it was like you was talking back. I ain't really talking back. Like, I'm trying to tell you how I feel. Like, this world is crazy. Like, I'm trying to, and it wasn't like that. So I've always let our kids, hey, express yourself, talk, don't disrespect us. But if you got something that you didn't like we did or something that happened, come and talk to us. Like, I'd rather you come talk to us than you being mad and writing notes and you trying to harm somebody. Then you can come home and come have a conversation. No matter what you did, no matter what the phone call is, if it's from, jail, if it's from something you done, hey, call, because we gonna be there no matter what's going on. If I ain't there first, your mama gonna be there first. And you gotta like install that safe place for your kids, because if you don't, they use teachers, they use educators. Like, people don't realize I work in schools. Like, I'm more than just an educator. I'm a counselor, a dad, all these different things, because kids don't have that, and it's because they don't have a good home. And being an educator and having kids, it's like, how the hell that happened? Like, how I get it. Like, if me not being with their mom, if my son lived with me, it'd probably be a little struggle, but I'm gonna make sure he ain't going out in the world looking crazy, or he don't know how to behave. It's like, everybody want to say their kids got this and that. No, it's I think it's home. And if you don't got home right, I don't think your kids aren't going to be able, really, if you don't got home right, you don't got nothing right. Because home is your first business. You the CEO of your house. If you can't run your house, you can't run nothing else. And people don't realize that. And it's like, you got to get the the necessary stuff done at home to be able to go out in the world to get the necessary stuff. Cause you can't say you're a husband and nobody in your house respect you, but you're supposed to go to a job and have people respect you. Just yeah. So being a father, were you I know you were an active father. Were you, when it came to sports, what kind of father were you? Were you the loud one? Were you the aggressive? Or did you kind of like, all right, I'm gonna just let them play and say my little piece here and there?
I was a mixture. I believe starting off early. I mean, when I played basketball myself, recreation pickup, I was very vocal. So being in the stands or coaching, I was definitely a vocal father. But I always told my sons, because my daughter really didn't play sports too much. She dibbled and dabbled here and there. So I was there. You're going to hear me, but at certain times I know when to reel it back in. Yeah. But for the most part, I'm a very, very vocal parent. But I know when to shut it down and when not to. I remember getting into it with one of the science coaches when he was like 4th or 5th grade, because, like I said, I just don't like being around unintelligent people. God forgive me. And some stuff is just common sense. Your star player got 3 fouls in the first quarter, take him out. Yeah. Yeah. And so one time hey man, he got 3 fouls. Like, this your number one player. Yeah. The sign at that point in time, he didn't get much playing time, but you still want to win as a team. Right? Yeah. And so I guess the assistant coach was like the boy's uncle or something, where I was talking about, say, hey man, tell him he got 3 fouls. And so they left him in. Or maybe he had 2 fouls in the first quarter, left him in, and then he got a third foul. And I was like, why are they leaving him in? And he heard me. And then the boy come down and hit a 3 or something to go into the end of the quarter or something like that. Uncle Joe say, that's why we left him in. But he didn't say it towards me, he just said out loud. I said, hey man, don't do that. Don't do that. I said, I'm trying to help y'all. Yeah. Oh man, I ain't mean, no, you did mean something. So to get back on topic, I was very vocal as a parent, but I knew what it really is. So I knew at that point in time, let me sit down and be quiet before something pop off in here. But no, just I don't do disrespect. But so very supportive when Deshaun won the state championship. That was a roller coaster ride. They won state championship at Covenant Christian. Man, what was that? 2000, 2001? 2021, excuse me. Yeah. And so, man, that was just, I stood the whole game. I'm cheering, I'm yelling. And like I said, that was just like one of the greatest feelings ever to watch my son play. So I've always told them, if you're going to play sports, we're going to take it seriously. Yeah. We're going to put the work in. But if you're not going to be dedicated, you're not going to put the work in, and you don't have to play sports. It doesn't matter to me, but you are going to get good grades. You are going to be well behaved in school. You are going to do the things necessary to graduate. But if you play sports, it was not a requirement. But if you play, we're gonna be for real about it. Yep.
I'm still learning because I coach my son too, so it's a little harder with coaching them, separating dad. Yeah. But it's also like I'm glad it's two coaches, so I let the other coach kind of like coach him or say stuff to him, just like with his son. Well, he still get on his son, but because his son able to take it, like my son not ready. Like when I be saying stuff, when he first started AAU, it throw his whole game off, and I'm like, okay, let me be quiet. But like just seeing that process of sports and how like when he first started until now, and then even us winning the state championship just 4th grade, like you don't really see a lot of kids getting that opportunity. So it's like, man, it was an awesome feeling. I don't think they realize, they're kids. They probably getting on YouTube and they was worried about going swimming afterwards. They didn't care about. I mean, they cared, but it wasn't the same as like us as coaches and dads. Like, man, we really won a state championship for this age group. Like a lot of people ain't going. Thank you. Yeah, and like the team that we have, it's like, man, we really did it. But it's like as watching my son, because people come up all the time like he's really good, and then I'm probably, besides him, I'm probably his worst critic because I'm like, you're better than this.
Right.
And I know that you're better than this, and people only seeing a glimpse of it. And it's like, I have to sit back and just wait. His process, his journey gonna be different. He might not wake up until 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. But I think the competitive person in him is gonna kick in when he starts to get a little like 5th, 6th grade, when it's like, oh, I really ain't playing. Oh, I need to really get on my stuff. Or I told him this summer, hey, it's up to you. What you want to do? You let me know. If you really want this work, I'm gonna give you this work. We don't need to go to no trainers, get nobody. It's gonna be me and you. Because for me, it's gonna hold me accountable of working out, and then him is gonna help him get better. Because I'm skinny fat, and I don't like to work out. The gym, me. I've never been a gym person ever. Like in college was like the most I used to go because I had some friends, they were football players, so they used to want to go to the gym. That's the only time I went. I could go play basketball and be cool.
So talking about your balance, your struggle, or just your experience with your son, what I found is it just takes some longer than others for it to really click right.
Yep.
And so the thing with Jason was this: after winning the state championship, he wasn't doing anything, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, he was looking at maybe continue going to college when he graduate and play. And I just noticed that he wasn't working out, wasn't doing anything. And I kind of told him like, hey man, you need to figure out what you're gonna do. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, I put plenty of people around you that you can lean on for training, for wisdom, for leadership, uncles, pastors, just whoever, and to see him win a state championship and then not try to elevate himself in that time frame, it was strange to me. So, just kept having conversation with him. And so finally he asked for a gym membership. I said, no, you're going to go over to the apartment, to the workout facility, show me that you ready to put the work in. And he did. He started going over there. So I would come over there on my free time and work out with him. And then we got a membership at Anytime Fitness. So this is going into the summer of his senior year. And the young lady he was dating at the time, they went on a graduation trip to Hawaii. He wanted their family, right? And so he calls me on the phone just out of the blue while he's in Hawaii crying. I'm like, man, what's going on, man? He's like, man, Dad, I get it now. I get it. I'm like, what you talking about? He's like, man, all the stuff that y'all been instilling in me, I get it now. So I think just opening him up to a new experience, he kind of saw that life was bigger than just Indianapolis. And man, from that time on, that's when he came back and really got into personal development, physically, mentally, and he took off. But like I said, we had been instilling this stuff in him since he's a child. So for him to get to 17 and go to Hawaii for that switch to hit. And like I said, I couldn't be more proud of him or his siblings, because like I said, it just takes time, but you have to just continue to find a balance. You have to, like I said, put them around the right people, and you can't do it all yourself. Because there's no way you get the version of Jason you get today if it wasn't for us putting him around the right people.
Yep.
The Sean Johnson's D1 trainer, who's considered his uncle, being around the Jamal Sylvesters, the Terry Webster seniors and juniors. Like, these are all older men, Derek Green, who are Carlos Long, who put, at church, took Jason and put their arms around him and made sure that he knew what it looked like to be a man, to be diligent, and to work at being the best you can be.
Yep. I think as a man, you have to sit back and understand like you can't do it all. Like you're not gonna be the only person that helps train up your child. Like it takes a village. It's gonna take other people. Like there's other coaches, you know, I let them, you know, hey, if he need to be chewed out, chew him out. I want to get him in like a program. We did have him in a big brother, big sister, but it didn't work out. I don't know what happened with his big brother, but that just didn't work out. But we try to do, because we did the same thing for his sister, put her around positive women and different stuff. And so she could do different stuff. I remember she was like, oh, I want to be a chef. And she went to, her mama took her to junior chef in Chicago competition. And like with my son, like he traveled, he went to the Warriors stadium. And he was like, man, that's so much bigger. Yeah, that's where you could be playing one day. And you ain't got to just look at the Indianapolis, you know, our stadium here, because it's smaller than others because we're a small market. But like winning a state championship, like we qualify, like if we had the money, we would take them to Houston just so they could see that. Even if we didn't win, that's not the goal, but the experience is like, man, taking them, we went one place, they got to do interviews and all different stuff. And when you expose your children to that, it's like, oh, okay, it's more than a neighborhood. It's more than the small dreams of sometimes your friends, because your friends could hold you back because they got small dreams. And you're like, oh yeah, we're going to do that. And it's like, no, I'm bigger than this small town. Because I'm from Michigan City, and that's a small town. And like, you got to think outside of there. Nothing wrong with staying there, living there, building your life, having a family. But it's like, I want to impact more than just that small city. I want to impact the world. So it's like, when you want to do that, you have to put yourself in position to do that. So you're a life coach. You got the experience of 25 years. So as a father, how, when you first started, because I know when I first started, like the entrepreneurial journey and all that stuff, it was hard. The balance and family and that. So how did you balance like trying to do your own thing and still having a family and being effective in the household?
I like to always say parenting is practice, right? There's no real manual on it because every situation is different. In my earlier years, I thought the more I worked, the better off my family would be. But then, you know, as you get older, you start missing out on, like I said, a basketball game, a choir performance, you know, the little things that your kids really, really, you know, want to see you at. And you realize sometimes your paycheck really can't amount to the time that you spend, right? So as I got older and started getting into entrepreneurship, it really was because entrepreneurship for me is a way to get to freedom, you know, financial freedom and freedom of time, so I can spend more time. And if you poll my kids, you know, they'll probably tell you all the mistakes I made. They come up with stories I don't even remember. Right? So I'm far from the perfect parent, but again, I believe in parenthood. I believe I thrived as a parent. And I can say that because of it's the reflection of how my children are in the world. I think I was an excellent parent only based off of what they are today. So it's parenting is practice, man, and you just got to go through it. You have to, you know, seek help, you know, to lean on other people, other people's advice. But I believe that the more time you spend with your children, the better for them. But you have to be working on yourself as well. And I believe that's where a lot of parents fail. They don't work on themselves, so that their parenting will never be the best it can be. Yeah.
That's so true. We like you definitely have to have a good circle around you and an honest circle. Like you can't have people that like just agree with you, especially if you're talking about your relationship with your spouse or whoever, or with your children. Like you got to have people that's going to keep it a buck with you and hold you accountable for who you supposed to be. Because sometimes we get out of character. Because I would say for me, the person that would get me out of character or get me riled up is my children's mom. Like it ain't too many people I ain't really worried about, but she definitely can ruffle some feathers. So it's like you got to control that emotion to not overreact over certain stuff, because there's a bigger picture. Because when you, as a guy, I hate seeing dudes be complaining about their baby mom, bro. It's not about her. It's not about you. It's about your kids. So it's almost like F her in a certain sense. You got to communicate with her, but it's like, make sure you there for your kids. because there's going to be seasons where it look like you might not be there because you're working, because you're getting yourself together so you can be a better parent. And then that person be like, oh, they not here, but just make sure you there with time, because money's not always going to be there, but time is always there. And you got time to spend with your kids, because if you got time to go hang out, time to watch a game, you can go hang out with your kids. And I feel like people don't put that love in their kids to block out the other dumb stuff that happens when you're in a relationship or when you're not in a relationship, but there's kids involved. Like, you still have to be there. So, you mentioned you were married, being a parent, and having a business. How was marriage?
Got you. So I am divorced now. We've been divorced since late last year, but separated for about 3 years. So while we were together, again, raising the children was the best thing we did. You know, we didn't too much battle on how to raise the children. I think more of the friction came through the separation on how to raise them, because now we're not in the same household. You know, it's a lot easier when you're living together to raise your children. But I think not being there because, like I said, you're not there when stuff goes down and stuff like that. You know, you really can't vouch for either or. So I think that's difficult. And forgive me, God, I just got to the point now where me and her mother are back on good terms. You know, where we can go back to being successful co-parents. And a lot of that is on me as a man. You know, pride, ego, whatever you want to call it, or just feeling that I needed to step away because we were bumping heads so much. So it's a lot easier when you're in the home together. Like I said, parenting is one thing that we both flourished at. And I think we always was on the same page when it came to that. I think it's just we started growing apart, so it made the marriage difficult, which makes everything else difficult. Yep.
Definitely understand that. It's definitely hard when you're there all the time and then boom. Yeah. And my son was only 4 or 5, so he didn't understand, and he used to be like, because I was married and divorced too, so that's why I was asking that question. And he used to pick sides. He'd be at home, I want to go to my daddy's house. He'd be at my house, and I want my mommy. And he didn't really understand it, and now he does. I can see more. He's more of a mama's boy, so he's going to side with mom or call her and stuff of that sort. And I'd be like, I had to look back, and I was like, yeah, I was a mama's boy too, so I got to understand it. So it's hard as a dad sometimes, because you call your mom, she gonna come no matter what. She gonna stop everything she doing. And sometimes he used to make it seem like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to. I'm like, no, he just calling you because he want to go home. He know you gonna come pick him up. And I used to be like, man. But one thing I think, because I know some buddies that's like, man, I gotta step away because she doing the most. And it's like, for me, I don't think I could. It wouldn't be healthy for me to step, like, in a sense of, I don't have to communicate with her necessarily if I want to communicate with the kids. So I couldn't just be like, oh, I can't be around or whatever, because I would go crazy. Right. Because I call, even though this little joker don't answer his phone, I call him every morning, and I call him sometimes before he goes to bed, just to see how his day was. And just doing that helps. Like, just me being a dad, and me, because I know it's some stuff, not being in the home, you don't know if he had to go to the doctor. I don't know. Dentist. I took him to the dentist before, that was cool, but like little stuff like that, I wouldn't know certain stuff because I'm not in the household. But it's like, I can't be mad that I'm not in the household and certain stuff goes on. And I think sometimes as men, we try to control the household, and it's like, you don't live there no more. You don't pay them bills no more.
So I never made that attempt, because I know their viewpoint might be different, but I know the difficulties of being a single mother and having to be in the home with the child every day. My girlfriend, Shelly, she's a single mother, does a phenomenal job. But, just talking to her, I understand the stress that they go through. So, I try to keep that in mind when dealing with their mother. Despite, what we've been through, I realize the job that she does. And shout out to all the single mothers.
Hey, you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say that, because
my mother and father were never together when I was a child. Would date here and there, but I know firsthand what it looks like. The long hours they put in and work, the cooking dinners, going to grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, if they got to help you with the homework, the doctor's, like I said, the doctor's appointments. It's so much that a single mother does that men take for granted. So shout out to y'all. Y'all deserve all the accolades that y'all get. And forgive us as men for not being there when y'all need us most.
Yeah, definitely. Cause I look at it different now. Like, if she call and ask for something, it's like she might really need it because she taking care of the kids. Not where, oh my God, why you asking? Sometimes I just don't. Hey, I ain't got it. It wasn't in my budget. Sorry, but if I do, I'll try to be able to help out. Cause like you said, being a single mom is hard, and like they do a whole lot and having the kids. But also, I think, to flip it, I think a lot, because I see a lot of posts saying if dudes was single fathers or had their kids full time, we can handle it. Like, I don't understand why people think that we couldn't handle it. Like, as dads, like, we can handle it. Like, I think it
look a little rougher.
Yeah,
we're not as nurturing as a mother.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We might not be as structured as they are, but like I said, we wouldn't have no other opportunity.
Yeah, and
we the stuff we put on our back, a lot of women couldn't carry.
Yeah,
but they would make the attempt, just like as we would.
Yeah, because as a dad, I know me, like, wherever, unless I'm going and doing some adult stuff where my son can't go, he going wherever I'm going. Like, I don't know. I just don't see why people wouldn't, or dudes couldn't be able to. If you got your kids, man, like, your kids depend on you. Like, if you didn't have a parent area, if you did, like, you got to remember what that feels like when you had that void. So you gotta fill that void for your kid. So yeah, I don't be understanding
I'm lucky because with Levi being 12, he's at the age where he can be home by himself. He has the older two siblings. He has plenty of friends who homes he can go over. My girlfriend's sons are his age, so I don't have to have him all the time, even though I would love to. But like I said, he's at the age where he wants to, stay at home and play PS5.
Yeah.
When we first separated, I would have him scheduled regularly, but I realized it's not your fault that you and your mom are together.
Yeah.
So I give him a little bit more leniency to stay home and go to a friend's house. But like I said, when he says, "Dad, I want to be with you," then he's with me. And I had the pleasure of taking him to school every day as my career path went more to being structurally, entrepreneur, 1099. I made a point, well, I'll take you to school every day.
Yeah.
Then whoever wants to pick you up, because oftentimes I travel with work as I'm out here serving families and whatnot. So like I said, you just got to find a balance, man. That's it. Find a balance.
Yep. Because like for me, I can't really get him throughout the school year because I'm an educator and it just don't work. But in the summers, he with me. Like, if we on break, he with me. It's like, people be like, "Ain't you get your son for the summer?" Yeah, I don't really get to see him throughout the school. I mean, I get to see him sometimes, and with not having a vehicle, that makes it a lot harder. But even with that, just the busy schedule that I have, I wouldn't always be able to. But so I think, being his coach, I'm always at a game. I'm never going to miss a game. He might miss a game, but I'm never going to miss a game because I got a coach. So it's always good we have that. But we have, like, he's into playing the game now, the 2K, and he wins sometimes, and he be talking junk, and I'll be like, "Man, he really did win." Like, I'm like, "Oh, he's getting a little up there where he winning some games." Now in real basketball, nah, he ain't. Not 1-on-1. Not 1-on-1. Now the shooting contest, maybe here and there, but 1-on-1, no, it's not. Yeah, he too small.
You hold it down for the dad.
Yeah, and because I remember that my sister's dad is my dad, so I think I was like 15, 16. We played we didn't play all the time, but we played over the years, and he always won because he was taller. And I finally beat him. He never played me again.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Never played me again, and I'm like, bro,
hanging over our head when the sun beats us.
Yeah, I need that get back though. Like, I want to get a couple off on you, because I knew he wasn't gonna keep going because I almost made him fall. Oh, yeah. And I was like, "Oh yeah, he done for it."
He made me fall one day, and I couldn't live it down. I just beat him so many times. It's like, dude, whatever.
Yeah,
you got that one. I'm
yeah,
my knees back.
Yeah, they don't understand that. But as a competitor, it's like, I ain't about to lose to you. I'm going old school. I'm fouling. I'm not letting you. It ain't nothing easy.
Blocking every shot.
Yeah. So, 3 kids. What are 3 moments, one from each one, that of the kids at different ages? They don't got to be the same thing. That you were like, you teared up a joy?
Oh, wow. Well, with Nike being 24, has been several moments. But if I had to just pinpoint, I'm going to give her two. When she walked down the aisle as the flower girl at our wedding, I teared up off of that. Can't explain why, but I just knew that she was the main reason why we were at that altar.
Yeah.
Because again, I didn't want to see anyone else raise my children. I love their mother to death, but I didn't want to see anybody else raise my children. So that was one, seeing her walk down the aisle. Other one was when Nike's always, highly talented as it relates to education, right? And she went to an academy on Ball State's campus after junior and senior high school. She lived there, the Indiana Academy of Mathematics, of Science, Mathematics, and Humanities, if I'm saying that right. And she won this award for like just being an outstanding student leader as it related to the school, as it related to, like I said, because they lived there in a dorm. And like I said, in sixth grade, she didn't get any awards after being straight A student all through elementary school. And her mother was pissed, right? And I told her, I said, look, whatever God got for her. And, we had some transitions going from Wayne Township to Avon. And then, like I said, her being on that campus. And to hear her get that award as a character award. So, and again, we were very intentional about what we instilled in our kids. So to have her win that award was powerful. And like I said, then all the accolades were her graduating from there, Ball State, and getting ready to graduate with her master's. But those two moments, the wedding and then her getting that award. For Jason, definitely the state championship because of, just like I said, the adversity that they faced, with COVID. And like I said, him only playing football, 3 years out of his entire football career. He played in like fourth grade, tried out seventh grade, and broke his foot to be like the beginning of the school year. Broke his foot or broke a bone in his leg or something, and he couldn't play. And then he didn't play again until he actually got to Covenant his junior senior year. And to be on that football team and to be, one of the main contributors to win the state championship, that was very powerful. Very, very, very emotional moment. He's not married or anything. So none of those moments, and like I said, him graduating high school was big too, but that state football championship, something special about that. And then with Levi's still so young, 12 years old. Not really any real moments. I think his birth was major for us because, like I said, the age difference, wasn't expecting Levi at all.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's just the joy of the family. So he just brings so many entertaining moments and stuff like that. So no real moment I can pinpoint that he made me cry, but just proud of him as a young man as well. And like I say, he's the star of the family.
Yep. I was sitting there trying to think, like with my daughter, because she's so many moments. Intelligent girl, got to travel before she went to college. So I would say I don't know if I like teared up, but that moment when she was driving, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. She was driving and she playing her music and I'm on the other side and she drives fast as hell. And I'd be like, yeah, let me put my seatbelt on it. But it was just cool to have her because the car conversations is our thing. Mm-hmm. So for her to be on the other side and driving and me being on the other side was cool. Yeah. And then I would say definitely graduation. Just because I think as a parent, I wasn't expecting it like that early, and it was like she did a good job. She had a great grade. She was a captain of her dance team, had a job, like had her head on straight of what she wanted to do. So her graduating wasn't just like, oh, you graduated. It was like, this is just the first step of you becoming a young adult. My son, definitely when he was born, but when he first had his first like breakout game, and I went back and I was watching the clips and I was like, tearing up a little bit because I was like, oh, he looked like me, and it was like, okay, he got something going here, and I definitely the state championship, but yeah, that I would say his first moments, like him definitely going in and like hooping out, and it was adversity. It was like they only had like 3 players, then they had like 1 or 2 people from the other team that wasn't really good, and him and my nephew went out there and was hooping. So it was like man. So, and like you said, he's the joy of the family. He's Mr. Funny Guy. He's coming in with the energy. Like, that's one thing on the court he brings is that energy. He brings that shit talking. We ain't taking no mess. And like, he just brings that energy of the big brothers because he the little one on the court. So I would say that with him. But that, like, thinking about moments as a dad, I would say, no, with Tanaya, it was the father-daughter dance. The first one where we had to dress up and match. And it was like, I still remember it, got those pictures, and it was like, man, I really don't, because most of my homies, we all got sons. So I'm the only one doing the daughter stuff. So it's different having a daughter. Yeah, it's definitely different. You gotta be a little mushier.
Today was Levi was actually, he's in a mentoring program called Lamplighters, and he was going to be presented with the Mentee of the Program Award today, but they canceled it. I believe they canceled it because of the race.
Oh, okay.
So had like I said, that not happened, I would have been there today. So that would have been a moment to see him be, named the Mentee of the Year award. And then he also did his first year playing football. They won a football championship in Avon. And they beat a team that had mauled them twice during the season. So those are those two moments one moment that would have happened, and the other moment that I did forget about. So it's just funny how our lives are kind of mirroring each other.
Yeah, definitely. So, what are what is a example that you had with being an entrepreneur that you were proud of as a dad?
Nothing I can just off the top of my head pinpoint. I just think with being an entrepreneur and being a dad, man, I'm really trying to show my children that they can create the lifestyle they truly desire. Even with now, a couple different things I do. I'm a VP in training with Primerica Financial Services. And that's all about, man, teaching people how money works. We were taught how to work for money, but we weren't taught how money works. So several years ago, I started for Christmas, I would just put money into an investment account for them because, we tend to are told to go out and buy all these gifts for Christmas, but there's no real value in that.
Yep. So
as of right now, my children all have investment accounts in their name. Now they have to contribute to it monthly. But I got it started for them. So that's key for me, is teaching them about, teaching them financial literacy and preparing them for the future. And that's why I think entrepreneurship is so powerful, because you can create freedom. You can create your way to freedom. The other thing I do is family services. Is I work with healthy family advocates, and I'm a mentor behavior specialist, and we have cases through DCS. And right now, I believe that my daughter and my son-in-law are going to come work there, and then Jason, when he turns 21, he's going to look at transitioning. And this is something that you can do part-time, where you're just going out helping people, and it pays really well. So just trying to help my children see that you don't have to, I had to put a disclaimer there. Nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. I just believe that if you really want to get to freedom comes through entrepreneurship. So like I said, having my family be a part of that, going out serving people and getting paid really well to do that. So I do it through financial services, and I do it through family services. So I'm always recruiting, I'm always training. I give people opportunity to make their own living part-time, and you really can make more money part-time than you can on your actual job. So if anybody looking for something to do, holler at your boy.
Yeah, I like how you plug that in there. Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, I think mine was Tanaya gave me my slogan. You can measure my arms, but you can't measure my heart.
And dude, that slogan is so fire, man.
Yeah.
So fire. And it's not like it's made up. It's a reflection of your life.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I finally had the opportunity to tell you that.
Appreciate it.
And it's funny that came from your daughter.
Man. Yeah. I told her when they get to making money off of it, she gonna have a percentage. Cause I was trying to think, and she came up with it. And I think just my kids being able to come see me speak. My son, he hasn't got to see me speak where he's been older to understand, but to be able to have them in the crowd, and like he's been in the crowd. I think he was like 3 basketball bigger than him. He didn't understand, but that just for them to see what I do. And then me and my daughter, when she get her stuff together, she's so busy. She supposed to help me with my website, but just working with her. And then what you said about your kids, one Christmas, my son was like, "What you get me?" I was like, "I got you a business. I created you an LLC. You got a business with your name." And it was a clothing line. And it was like, there's something different than leaving your kids. I mean, you can leave them with money, but them having their own ownership of something, and they can do something with it and build it and keep that legacy going. Or like my dad, when he passed, he left me and my brother questions. And it's like, well, I don't know how you was as a person. You didn't really leave a legacy of like, oh, your dad was that dude or this or that. So it's like you got to leave your kids with something so they can, have it. And speaking of working with your kids, you work with Jason. How is that working with you? Because he's a adult, a young adult, very intelligent kid. Like for him to be so young, you wouldn't think it.
Right.
You wouldn't think that he's so young, and just what he's doing with him and his crew, like what they're doing as young guys, like you don't really see that a lot. So that's shout out to you and his mom for raising him that way, because you like, what is he, 21? 20. He's 20. I'm telling you, you wouldn't know he was 20. So how is it working with your son in business? Do you guys keep it father-son, or do you keep it business? Because I know sometimes it can be difficult, and then as the father, you like, hey, it's what I say.
Definitely difficult. It's been a learning experience, man. Again, I take a lot of the brunt of the falls or failures that you have, the learning lessons, and I try to give him as many accolades as possible, because ultimately, if it goes the way life should go, he'll be the one carrying that legacy on. So like I said, it's been some growing pains, but again, as a father, I take a lot of that. I take a lot of responsibility, because I have things that I have to get in order for him to be in order.
Yeah.
For when I started the business, and then him coming alongside of me. But I believe that my experience as a parent, I learned, okay, this is something that we might need to do separate, or I'm not going to question your decisions at this point. I'm going to let you work it out the way you see fit. And then if I need to come on the back end and say, no, son, let's do it something different, then I'll do that. So at some point we will have separate LLCs, just because I see where he's going in life. And I'm not in a position to keep up, because I have my own things going on. So it's nothing. It's been nothing but a blessing, man. Again, couldn't be more proud of my 3 children. And as it relates to the business side of it, of course, it's more me and him. But even though my daughter and the younger son still have full access to do whatever they would like to do. But man, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing to be able to run a business and be in business with your children and my son.
Yeah, salute to you. It's another, I can't think of what their names are, but they were in my cohort for the podcast, and they had a podcast of their own as a father and son. I just think that's dope. I think I would have one with my son. I think it would be interesting just to hear like at his age what his response to like life questions would be, because having like talking to your kids and just getting to know them and what they think about life, or just trying to figure out where they're at, because the music, and when they go to school they hear all different stuff, just that type of thing. But you guys have a really good podcast, and you guys interview people. So who came up with the idea of starting a podcast?
Me. I've always wanted to do a podcast, and even when Jason was younger, he might have had the idea of doing it, but I don't think he really understood what a podcast was. I just dibble dabble here or there, would make videos here and there, and say it was a podcast, but never really followed up on it. And then after him being on a podcast at our barbershop, I was like, okay, that's the sign. We met people who can really help us push it out there. So at that point, already having a brand, desires everything, clothing brand, personal development, coaching, teaching. It was like, okay, what do we name our podcast now? Because we're about to do this. So, I put up the money, got with a gentleman by the name of Clark Howard at Zahi Studios, and we started running out of there. And then as Clark position with the company grew, he was kind of like, okay, y'all need to figure something else out. So then that's when we went all around media and still film it at Zahi Studios. So it was my idea, but everything after that was more collaborative. You know, sticking with the name Desires Everything podcast. You know, who we work with, where we went to. At this point, it's all collaborative.
Gotcha. Love that. Just to hear the back part of what people have and how their story goes. What is one thing with each kid that is y'all thing?
Me and Nikasia, we have the educational talks.
Yeah.
You know, one-on-one lunches, you know, stuff like that. Of course, me and Hassan, it will be working out, you know, doing the business. And then Levi, we call us, we've been coined the phrase movie buddies.
Okay.
Because he was always the one that we would go see Marvel movies together. Now, when a big Marvel movie come out, we would all four of us would go.
Yeah.
And I would, you know, take a picture of it, put it on Instagram, you know,
Yeah.
right, you know, Avengers, Endgame, you know, stuff like that. But as it relates to just Marvel movies, period, it's more me and Levi. Okay. Like I said, Design and Nikasia 2024, you know, they have their own, you know, personal lives. So
yeah,
me and Nikasia, the educational conversations and one-on-one lunches and stuff. Me and Design working out in the business, and then me and Levi is definitely the movies.
Yeah. I would say me and Tanaya would probably be talks, because she's been in school. She goes to Indiana University, so when she comes home, she either hanging out or doing hair. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure we'll hang out more throughout the summer. So I'd probably say getting some food and having conversation, because she like to eat and I like to. I don't know. We have to figure something out, but I would probably say just conversation and go get some food. Mm-hmm. Me and CJ. Cause I ain't gonna say basketball. I would say it's probably playing the game. Cause I'm not a big game person. I don't got one in my house. So when he comes, that's kind of our thing. We get to talk trash. I let him talk a little more trash. But yeah, I think that would be our thing. Just doing those things with the kids. Cause you gotta know your kids. Yes. I think as I got older, I realized like Tanaya's not a person call and be like, hey, I got tickets to a game. You want to go? She not going. No, CJ, oh yeah, I'm ready. Yep, I got my clothes on. And like with Tanaya, you gotta let her know in advance. She almost gotta be like, who going? Like stuff like that. And with him, he just ready to go. He don't care. He ready to rock and roll. Now sometimes he will be like, nah, I'm good. I remember it got to the point going to the Pacers game one season. He was like, no, I'm good.
Shocking.
Like you'd have been to that many games. He's been to way more games than I have, like as a kid. So I get it, but it's like, dang, okay, whatever. But yeah, just knowing your kids is very important, because I think knowing your kid, knowing the difference between your kids will help you knowing the difference between in business, like your employees or people you work with, because everybody's different that you work with. And did you have to, working with Jason, is he different as a business partner as he is as a son, like how he acts and stuff like that, or is he similar?
I would say similar, man. Like I said, we just have a great relationship, man. I have a great relationship with all three of my children. And again, just knowing your child and allowing him to grow, and again, we'll go back to allowing your child to express themselves. I think that helps with running the business, because I can be that dominant parent where like, no, we doing it this way.
Yeah.
But because of the way I parent and because of the wisdom I've received from other parents, I know to let him express himself more.
Yeah.
You know, and not try to be a boss, you know.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is a business we're running together. So I believe that it's very similar to the way he acts as my son and as my business partner.
Got you. I don't know if I could work with my mom. She probably wouldn't like me. She'd be like, no, I can't. Because I remember one time I did work with her. She was a manager at a retail store. She always been that majority of my life. So I worked with her during Thanksgiving, like helping control the line, do different stuff. I forgot what I was doing, but I'm like, yeah, I couldn't work with her. Nah, I couldn't work with her because she's different. She's similar, but she's about business when it comes to work. And I'm asking these questions because I know me and Tanaya eventually probably do something together. And I could see us bumping heads a little bit, but me understanding like, okay, she went to school, she might know a little more stuff. I just got to bring what I bring to the table and let her bring what she brings to the table and go about it that way. Cause you don't want to be that parent that, cause I'm the parent. Yeah. And I think the parents from my era would be that way. No. Cause I'm the parent, you gonna do it. Yeah. Both our names on here. What you talking about? And I would be that kid that, my mom be like, no, I can't do it.
I do have my moments like when we doing the podcast, I close out the podcast unless it's a special occasion or something. Because like I said, at this point, I have more wisdom, more life experiences. So oftentimes as we're sitting there doing a podcast, a thought will cross my mind like, hey, this is the right way to close it out. And again, as he matures and becomes more experienced, then that role would transition to him. But as right now, I close the podcast out, and so every now I get out the warrant. Hey man, you know how this goes.
Yeah,
I let you do the introductions. I let you do your most of the questions, but I close it out. That's the OG. So, stuff like that. But for the most part, man, we run it together.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and with business, you gotta know roles, especially like because I'm kind of working with somebody to be a co-host, and I'm gonna have to
find roles.
Yeah, because I'm gonna
people mess up the business. When him and his buddies was doing the thing at Melly, the late night party ordeal. I had a conversation with a couple of them. Like, man, y'all need to have defined roles in business, and because if you don't, then people feel like you overstepping your bounds or something doesn't get done. But when you have defined roles, there's no excuses.
Yep.
Checklist, structure, and all of that. So like I said, you could be more successful when you know who does what.
Yep, definitely. That works in anything. Sports, life, you got to know what role you play. Because if you don't know your role and what you're good at, then how can you help the team? What value you gonna bring? Yeah, I tell I was watching a video that I did on the last episode I recorded, and it was just like, man, if you don't know your role, then how can you help the team? Because when you get in the game, you don't know what's going on because you don't know what role. It's like, okay, we put y'all in position to know, okay, you're this the starter, but when he's not in the game, you might go in for him. So watch him, watch what he does. Whatever he does, that's what we need you to do. So when you get in the game and you acting like a guard, what are you doing? Why are you not paying attention? And it's like, if you know you're trying to get to the NBA, why are you hanging out with people doing podcasts? You should be hanging out with people trying to go to the NBA. Hang out with people that are in your lane, so where you want to be. And I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's why we're coaches.
Yeah. But I had to learn.
Those who don't get it.
I had to learn. So, as a man, when did manhood click for you? Was it an early age, or like where you were mature and kind of understood life? Because it took a little minute for me.
And again, everybody gets it at different moments, man. And I think it's not one moment that I can pinpoint. I think it was many moments. I think watching my nephews one summer when my sister moved to Atlanta and helping raise them, females prior to me dating my kid's mother, they always had kids. So like I said, kids always seem to make you realize what responsibility looks like. It could be moving into my own home and having to pay bills for the first time. It could have been getting saved and really realizing what salvation looks like. It could have been marriage. Like I said, I think you just have many moments in life where you're like, man, I'm a man now, and people are looking for me to be a man.
Yeah.
So parenthood is definitely, I think, one of the main keys where, like I said, raising that occasion and taking that responsibility on Jason's birth and then coming back, following up with Levi. I think there's always many moments where you like, man, I'm a man. I gotta certain things I gotta do.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's one moment. I think you get a reminder daily.
Yeah.
Man, I'm a man.
Like,
do what men do.
Yeah. And I think for me it was like 30. I had CJA was when I was 28, but it was like when I hit 30 and like my mindset really shift of I want to start doing my own stuff. It was like, oh, okay, it's more than just me. Cause like sometimes you can be married or in a relationship and think you're single and forget that there's other people that you have to do stuff for. So for me, being 30 and like being a man, clicking in, about to be married, that type of stuff, it's like I wanted to do stuff my way. I wanted to go about it my way, and it's like I can't, because there's other people that depend on me. I can't just go out here and just work on me and forget the kids and forget my wife. But that happened, and it was like, oh, I get it now. So for the next relationship, I understand like there has to be some type of balance. Like even if you're working hard, you can't always be working. Mm-hmm. You got to take some time off for yourself and take some time off for your family. Like I take chill moments and rest days, but I really don't take time off to like celebrate me or do stuff for me. And it's like one thing that I want to, work on. But being a man, like you said, there's different moments where it kicks in, when them bills is kicking in and you like, dang, no, that other income ain't in here this time. Yeah. So or just going out in the world, being a black man. Mm-hmm. It's like, golly, man.
Get many reminders.
Because I think as a black man that has value, when you go out in the world, there's other people that depend on you just because who you are. Mm-hmm. Like being an educator, you being around kids and working with families, like there's other people that look at us and depend on us to do the right thing or to accomplish what we said we're going to accomplish. Like for my students to be like, oh my goodness, you're on YouTube. I get it, but it's not that big of a thing to me. But to them, they just like, oh my goodness. Like they probably go home and one girl told me she done told her grandparents about the YouTube and all that. And it's like, man, little people are watching me. So I have to do what's right. Because if I don't, then I'm going to fail them. And it's not just my kids that I'm failing if I do mess up. And it's like, man, as a man, you got to really go out there and
be the best version of you.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard because you go out there and you Devin Haney and life is Ryan Garcia and you got to go back in the house and tuck your tail and figure out what's going on, how you can.
Steroids.
Yeah, no, they said he was clean. I think it's because he's so extra. It was just something to talk about. But you got to learn how to protect that from that left hand. Mm-hmm. You just went out there thinking, oh, okay, yeah, I heard about it, but
sweet.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard to be a man. So, give 3 tips to fathers, since we talk about fathers, of how you can have better relationships with your kids, even though you are in the entrepreneurial field. You're busy. Life's busy, but you still have kids. Give 3 tips.
First one is make yourself available. There's no greater gift you give your kids than your time. So that's one. I don't care what kind of entrepreneurship you in. You have to make yourself visible. Give your kids access to you. And even if make yourself available, even if it's a Zoom call, if you got to do it, I think being in person, actually showing up is the best way to do it. But you have to make yourself available in some form of fashion. Listen to your kids, even though they don't have all the answers. You listening to them is powerful, because you never know what your child is going through, especially if you're not there all day, especially if you're not in the house. You have to listen to your children. And I can do a better job of that, asking my children, hey, what's on your mind? Instead of saying, hey, how y'all doing today? Or I love y'all. Start listening to your children and help prepare your children for the future. And again, I have to go back to it. That's why what I do is so important as it relates to finances, because none of us have been 65 and broke, right? I'm 48. You are how old?
38.
We don't know what 65 looks like. We have no clue. And if we don't have the money right now to do everything we want to do, what does 65 look like when you retire and you're no longer making the money that you were making? What does it look like? So prepare your children for the future. People underestimate financial literacy. If you don't understand how money works, then you're not only setting yourself up for failure, but you're setting your children for failure, and you will never be able to leave them a legacy, and you'll continue to affect the legacy future generations down. So prepare your children for the future.
I love those, because listening, I had someone on a long, like maybe 2 years ago on a podcast, and she was like, it's the kind of questions you ask your kids that, oh, how was your day? Now, I always ask my son, what was good about your day? What was bad about your day? Like, because that's just like walking in the hallway, seeing somebody y'all walk past, oh, how you doing? You keep walking, and you can't treat your kids that way. You got to ask them questions, how they feel about, so for example, outside my apartments, somebody died. Like somebody got killed right outside. Like you open the windows, you could see the body over there. You seen the guy in handcuffs. So we looking at it. My son, he nosy. He done rolled up the blinds. He saying what up to the police. But I'm like,
he
hey,
the severity of the situation.
Yeah, he like it's on TV or something. But I'm like, you good? You like, because I know as a kid, like you might see something. It might be in your thoughts and your visuals. You could have nightmares or whatever. So I, the next couple of days checking on him, make sure he was good. And he was like, yeah, I'm cool. And I'm like, okay. Cause I know for me, I might still I'm glad, buddy, you couldn't really see him. You could see it was a body there, but you couldn't see what was wrong with his body. But just asking those questions and understanding, cause a lot of times when we were younger, somebody could have died. Friends could have died. No one asked you, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you good?
The question is, how are you feeling?
Yep.
Not how you doing, how are you feeling?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. How are you feeling? And you need to ask your kids that and keep up with your kids, because working with kids in school, you never know what's going on. You never know if they're getting bullied. You never know what they saw at school, anything of that, or what they heard at school. Cause I hear stories from students and I'd be like, dang, you dealing with that and you only in second grade? Oh my goodness. Like I couldn't even imagine. I'm an adult and I don't want to have to deal with stuff like that. So always talk to your kids, because you never know what they hear. Because I've heard kids be in a class say they want to kill themselves and other kids hear that. You don't talk to your kids, your kid might not know what does that mean, what, stuff of that. So always talk to your kids so you can listen to them. And yeah, take time. You got time for everything else. You got time for everything. Make time for your kids. Yeah. Even if you don't live in the same state, call them. Mm-hmm. And if listen, this is what this pisses me off.
Talk to me.
When fathers or other parents say, my kid don't call me. Your kid is 2. They ain't thinking about you, and that's not in a bad way. Your kid 5, your kid 6. Now, man, they don't. My son 10, and he don't really be like worried. Like you can't expect your kid to call you when they being a kid.
Yeah, you're right.
You have to call them, because guess what? If you call them and you keep calling them, they'll eventually call you. You got to be the example. If you're not the example, you can't be mad at them. Like with my daughter, I had to learn. See a texter. We call every now and then. If we call, we FaceTime. But if I really want to talk, if I really need to talk to her, I know, call. But we texting. And I know she not going to text back right away. Facts. So I'm not going to be like, oh my God, why you ain't? I didn't learn that over the years. Like, it's okay. Now, if she wants something, she replying. She boo-boo-doo-doo. But you got to understand, like, your kids are kids. Like, stop putting so much on your kid and they a kid. Like, I hate when I see parents, oh, my kid, they don't let my kid call me. Call your kid. Because guess what? Most kids in 2024 from probably the ages 2 and up got some type of electronic that you can contact them in. I'm just saying, I hate seeing that.
Stop you when you're wrong.
Yeah, that just pisses me off. I don't know why I just went on that tangent. But
we pissing Eric Jones off now.
No, because it's silly. I think it's when you're a active parent and you see stupid stuff, you just be like, man, I got the same struggles as you. You think this walk in the park with this woman has been cool? Hell no, it ain't been cool. It's rocky all the time, every now and then. But you got to just be there. You got to be there, because if you're not there, especially as a father, the moments you're not there hurt your kids. Come on, man. They hurt your kid. You got to be there in they highest moments and they lowest moments. Because if they understand they got somebody to go to that's not gonna judge them, they gonna treat life a little bit different. Facts. But if you not there and they don't know you there, who you blaming? Because your kid's gonna get a certain age, and guess what? They're gonna realize, my dad really wasn't on shit, or man, my mom was tripping, and that's why dad went. Oh, okay, I get it.
That's
So
terrible,
yeah, because kids wake up. Trust me.
And oftentimes, as children, we don't get it. Children don't understand that when that parent does finally come around, you don't have to let them off the hook.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Each situation is different. You should be able to hold them to the fire, hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on these past 20 years?
Yeah.
Why are you showing up now?
Yeah.
Are you showing up on your own accord?
Yeah.
Somebody push you to it. Or did God really touch your heart?
Yeah.
And how do you make up for that?
Yeah.
So.
And
I'm not a perfect parent, man.
Nobody's a perfect parent.
You my children, they probably can pull out plenty of mistakes I've made.
Yeah. Oh, but trust me.
I definitely have been dedicated to being the best parent I can be. And again, it's because I do love my children and I do care about their future. But yeah, I've dropped the ball plenty of times.
Yeah. And so when your kids do hold you accountable, don't be mad at them.
No.
Don't be mad at them. So underdog quote. Need one? It's for fathers, something to help, fathers going through life. It could be your quote, a quote you live by, a quote you saw, but need a quote from you.
And this is my one, but our guy Demond Hicks loves this one. Your obedience is tied to someone else's destiny. Meaning this, what you do in life is not always for you. It's sometimes often meant for someone else. So with me being, in the financial space, I take it very seriously, the things I do for families. Because even though, let's say I help Eric Jones Jr. today, it might not actually be for you. It might be for your son. It might be for his grandchildren. But if I know God has called me to do a certain thing, I have to be obedient to that calling because it affects so many more people. You can't quantify the amount of people that me and you will impact. But if we don't do what God has called us to do, then we'll never know. So you have to be obedient to your calling because it's for other people. The trials and tribulations me and you went through in life, it's not for us. It's for us to help other people. We're all created to serve. So our obedience is tied to someone else's destiny. And I love that quote because it's so true, because oftentimes we don't tap into our greater self. We don't answer the call.
Yeah.
So think of the time the phone is rung and it was something bad on the other line and you don't answer that call. You're not obedient. You dropped the ball. So we have to answer the call. We have to be the best version of us because it affects so many more people than just what we see.
So true. Because I had to learn I wasn't the reason I was born this way wasn't for me.
Come on.
And it took 30 years for me to realize it, but I realized, and it's like I have to be obedient to the things, even though it'd be uncomfortable going out in public and talking to people, because I like people, but I don't like people. So it's like just doing different stuff, or even applying for jobs, knowing how uncomfortable it can be at different schools and starting off. But it's like it's meant for me to go to these places because it's not for me. And that when you realize that your life isn't for you, I think that's when you realize what your calling and your purpose is, because you'll be doing stuff that you're not going to get paid for. Everybody ain't going to show up. Nobody going to like your post, none of that stuff. But you just keep finding a way of doing it. You're like, man, I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm going to just keep doing it. And one day it's going to pay off. And that is what your calling and your purpose is doing something where don't nobody see it yet. And then when they do, when they take that first celebrity or that first whatever it is for you to get noticed, then they gonna be on your jock. But until then, just keep going and keep pushing, because this podcasting, it ain't always fun. It ain't always easy. I got an episode I've been trying to edit for the last week or so. It ain't cracking yet. And I ain't been able to meet up with the editor to help me. So it's like trying to figure it out, but then it's like, okay, I could just be patient and, I'm gonna wait to meet up with him. But it's like, no, let me try to figure it out on my own. Let me see what YouTube University got and see if I can do it on my own. Because if I can at least figure something out, it could be one or two things that he could be like, oh, that's all you needed to do. So, appreciate you for being you. I forgot how we, got connected. I think I knew your son before. Well, I think I knew y'all at the same time, but I like met him and started knowing him, and then put y'all two and two together. But appreciate what you do, because as a father, you're a good example to look at to be a better father. And just knowing your kids, or I know your son, your middle son, your middle child the most, but just hearing about your kids and knowing them and seeing how they are as human beings, you done a great job. So you salute to you for that. Salute to their mom too, but it's about fathers because Mother's Day was in May. But yeah, salute to you. Tell us how they can reach you, because we really kind of didn't dive into the stuff that you actually do, but I just kind of want, I don't know, something hit me earlier about because I put a post up about fathers, and then I'm like, oh, he's a father. Indeed. We can sit down and have a conversation between fathers. Amazing. But you do a lot of different things, so tell people how they can reach you.
First of all, on the financial side, business side, if you're looking for another way to make some part-time money, you don't have to leave your job or nothing like that. You reach me at 317-289-2364. I do have my own website, SamuelWrightJr.com. You can send a message on there, but texting me or calling me is always the easiest. On Instagram, desire.is.everything. We do believe that desire is everything. The thing that you want out of life, the want, that yearning you have in your body, that's your everything. So lean on that. And every day you have to die to something. D-I-E, die. You have to die to something every day in order to achieve the best version of yourself. So yeah, that's how you can reach me, man. We financial services, family services with healthy family advocates, Desires Everything podcast, Die Fam Apparel, and then a couple other things that we're working on as well.
Yeah, I got one of y'all hats on too. I seen it.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
So look, I bought it for my son, but he never really wore it, and he left it at my house. So he be like, "Man, give me my hat." I'm like, "Bro, this is my hat, bro. Like I paid for it. You ain't want it, so it's my hat." But yeah.
But before you close out.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna close out.
Oh, we still
No. We about to close. See, you stepping over. I ended with the guest saying something as we. I was gonna throw the ball to you.
No, I'm gonna take that, but I want to know, since you got the hat on, I got it on my shirt. What is your desire?
I think it's just to be the best version of myself, because the best version of myself is valuable to the world. I'm as I'm listening in our conversation and thinking and just knowing where I'm at, just being the best version of me, because I'm a creative person, and the things that I'm supposed to be doing will happen when I'm the best version of myself.
Indeed. So next we'll talk about what your game plan is.
Right now? No,
that's on you.
No, we ain't gonna talk. I'm working. So one thing, I watched a video earlier, and it was like, if you don't have a strategic plan, you're not gonna make money off of it. So it's like, oh, I've been working on plans to actually accomplish the goals and things that I want, instead of just saying, oh, I just want this goal. No, you gotta have a plan. My mom always told me that, to have a plan, and it's like, you gotta actually have a plan of how you're gonna do this, because it's more than just writing it down and doing it. Like I'm working on a website, a Shopify store, and I was going back today, just looking over the little steps. I was like, dang, I forgot to do this. I forgot to do that. And I could have just hit, launch the store, and it wouldn't have looked right. So just being able to have a plan and a checklist of what I want to accomplish is the plan for me. So just working on that. And I've been working on that the last few weeks. Shout out to whoever created like AI chat, right. because I ain't gonna, that it helps. I ain't gonna lie. That's how I get my intros. I use people bio, add a little stuff to it, put my wording in there, and it comes to it. Now, it was more to it, and it's like, it's like, you got to use what you got. You got to use the resources. So
subscribe, look for some time now.
Yeah, and I love it. So I always let my guests, I hate saying the closing word. We sound like we at church, but close us out with something for the underdogs.
For the underdogs, man, you really truly can create the life you desire. And what I learned several years ago, we often don't get to where we want in life because we don't work on ourselves. We work hard on everything else that we do on ourselves. We work hard on our job. We work hard trying to impress people. But if you really take the time to focus on you and the lifestyle you truly desire, you can become the best version of you. It takes several things. It takes discipline. It takes resources. It takes being serious and committed. It takes making a decision, putting to death all other options. Like you really truly desire to be the best version of you. If you truly desire to be an entrepreneur, you truly desire to graduate college, whatever it is, you have to work harder on yourself than you do on anything else. I think that's what underdogs don't get, because we look at the obstacles and we think that we can't, but it's really just about working on you, man. What do you really want? And work towards that. So that's why, and it's not to brag, mentally, I'm at such a good space in life, and it always revolves around what I'm actually doing to better myself first.
And on that note, keep being great.